Next on Worcester News Tonight, 2 area college graduates have begun a successful startup and are putting roots down in the city. Plus, hot temperatures in Massachusetts today, and they're expected to stay through the weekend. How people in Central Mass are staying cool and safe. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. 2 Becker College alums are taking their small business in Worcester to the next level. They've been chosen to take part in Startup Worcester. Cody LaValle and Avier Chiganti founded ACCL Marketing, a digital advertising agency, right after they graduated in 2018. Startup Worcester is designed to offer support as well as provide workspace for young entrepreneurs in the city. LaValle and Chiganti say they not only have space to work, but also have provided a networking opportunity. They both believe Worcester is a great place to start their journey.
We have a lot of success. We've grown our team to being about 5 members now. We work every day, and being a part of Startup Worcester really just solidifies the fact that we're a growing company and we want to be here in Worcester and grow together as the city grows as well.
We've seen so much growth in Worcester just in the past 5 years as we've been here from college to now that we've graduated. It's just been up and coming. It's great to see everything coming around in the city. Everything from tech companies to just people that want to change the city in general, social change.
This is the 6th year in a row that current or past Becker College students have been accepted into the Startup Worcester program. We've entered into a bit of a warm-up with temperatures in the 90s today, and while many are trying to beat the heat, others are embracing it. If you like iced coffee on a hot day, you might want to listen up. Brew on the Grid will be giving away 100 free cold brew coffees whenever it hits 100 degrees in Worcester, which is possible this weekend. The deal isn't just this weekend, though. The deal is good through Labor Day. And you'll want a cold drink, especially with temperatures reading possibly triple digits this weekend. Many were already feeling the heat today. Hundreds look to the city's pools, spray parks, and beaches to stay cool. Doctors are reminding everyone to stay hydrated and to take breaks. Our Olivia Lemon has more.
Dozens hit Shore Park Friday looking for a way to cool off from the heat.
Trying to stay in the shade as much as we can.
I want to be like jumping in the pool, in the water.
An excessive heat warning is in effect for parts of Massachusetts. The National Weather Service says the heat and humidity may cause heat stress during outdoor activity or extended exposure.
Make sure that you're hydrated is probably the most important thing you can do to make sure that you don't get seriously ill from the heat.
Dr. John Broche says on hot days like today, people should take breaks if you plan on being outdoors for a long period of time. He says people may suffer from mild heat illness to a severe medical emergency like a heat stroke.
Things you want to look out for, dangerous signs are actually when you stop being able to sweat, when you stop being able to cool yourself with perspiration. Anytime that somebody is confused or has an altered mental status, definitely want to get those people into a cool environment and into medical care as soon as possible.
People at Shore Park say sunscreen, shade, and water are the keys to enjoying a hot day like today.
Extra sunscreen for the kids. We have little fans with us for the babes, so these are perfect.
Keeping them hydrated, making sure that they have tons of water, and especially being in the water and having fun, and plenty of sunscreen, all that great stuff.
Dr. Broche says they do expect to see more patients when the weather gets warm like this. He's hoping everyone will remember the essentials of sunscreen, water, and shade. Olivia Lemon, Worcester News Tonight.
If you're looking for a way to cool down, the city's beaches, pool, and spray park are all open until 7 p.m. Dozens were out at the East Park Spray Park earlier today trying to cool down. The city's reminding people of hot weather safety tips, including drinking plenty of water, even if you don't feel thirsty, take a cold shower or bath to cool down, and wearing loose, lightweight clothing. Other surrounding towns like Auburn and Charlton are opening their senior centers as cooling stations this weekend. The heat didn't stop people from heading out to the Canal District Music Series to hear some music tonight. People lined up their lawn chairs in the Worcester Ice Center parking lot to hear Rick Porter and the Sons of the Soil. Organizer Cynthia Burr says the goal of this series is to get people down enjoying the Canal District and Kelly Square area.
We're here at the Ice Center in the Railers practice area, and one of our sponsors are the Red Sox Nation. Just tells you how excited we are, and they are, to have events in the community.
The next concert will be held next Friday at the Worcester Ice Center parking lot. Anna Maria College hosts its first annual Battle of the Badges event. It brings high school students and the community interested in law enforcement and fire safety together with those agencies. Our Brittany Schaefer has more.
You only have 2 of those right now.
The first annual Battle of the Badges event at Anna Maria College is a successful one for Ariana Obashan.
Only having been here an hour, I was already offered an internship with the DA's office, as well as information from the marshals on how to get into crime scene investigation. So my next steps are bright.
The 2-day program brings together students interested in criminal justice, fire sciences, and emergency management with local, state, and federal law enforcement and fire prevention agencies. Obashan went on stage with the U.S. Marshal and says their job isn't easy.
I'm a glutton for punishment, so I had to try on, the 50-pound vest. They were asking me, do you think it's possible that you can jump a fence in this? Can you knock down a door and chase a criminal with a gun like this? Is it possible to live in this? And I give them all the credit in the world, because that thing is heavy. And to hold a taser in one hand, a gun in the other, your shield, your vest.
Worcester Police Lieutenant James Moore is presenting on behalf of the SWAT team. He says it's important to see students getting involved in law enforcement.
This is absolutely terrific that we're seeing the numbers that we're seeing today. Worcester we're desperate as far as manpower goes. The force is getting older. We're looking for younger people. I think that every department, right from the federal right down to the local, we're all kind of desperate as far as manpower goes, and the more that we can get, the better off.
You can really change people's lives for the good. And in challenging times that we're seeing today, it's amazing to me that we have so many young people here who want to commit themselves to public service.
High school senior Evan Turgeon's father was a police officer and says Friday he is deciding if he wants to follow in his footsteps.
I've always been interested in talking to people and convincing people to to do the right thing. I've never done anything hands-on like this before, so I'm really interested in doing this.
Organizers say they not only want to make this an annual event, but make it even bigger next year. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
Town officials in Auburn celebrate the father of modern rocketry, Robert Goddard. This weekend is the 50th anniversary of man landing on the moon. Goddard's work helped lay the groundwork for Apollo 11, and the Central Massachusetts Rocket Club lit off some of their own to pay tribute. Our JANDROW has the story.
It was 93 years ago Robert Goddard launched the first successful liquid-fueled rocket here in Auburn at what is now the 9th hole at the Packagug Golf Course. And while the world celebrates the 50th anniversary of the moon landing, Central Massachusetts is celebrating the man who helped create the technology that helped us get there. Robert Goddard reinvented the landscape of science and technology when he successfully launched a rocket just like this one.
No one was seriously thinking of going to the moon when he was born in 1882, and let alone in 1926.
Goddard graduated from WPI and later taught at Clark University. He launched the liquid-fueled rocket in Auburn back in March of 1926. Friday, the town paid tribute by setting off rockets of their own and reading from Goddard's diary.
Tried rocket at 2:30. It rose 41 feet and went 184 feet in 2.5 seconds after the lower half of the nozzle had burned off.
Saturday marks 50 years since man first walked on the moon. And while Goddard played a pivotal role in making it happen, Central Massachusetts also had other ties to the landing of Apollo 11.
When the lunar landing module settled down on the moon's surface, it rested on legs designed here in Worcester by another WPI graduate, Alan Glazer, class of 1947.
But Friday was about celebrating how one Central Massachusetts professor changed the world.
Goddard showed us that having the courage and creativity to follow your dreams is how great science is done.
Now, to celebrate the occasion, the Worcester Historical Museum will be hosting Worcester on the Moon and Beyond Saturday. They'll be showcasing moon-related artifacts from the collections of WPI and Clark University. In Auburn, I'm JANDROW, Worcester News Tonight.
Tomorrow marks the 50th anniversary of the moon landing when Neil Armstrong became the first man to walk on its surface. Jay Gray looks back at the historic journey with one of the Apollo 11 astronauts.
Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now.
The images are grainy and at times distorted. Still, the world watching as Neil Armstrong jumps from the lunar lander.
That's one small step for man.
A footprint that forever left its mark on history.
I think it's a great moment to remind ourselves what we're capable of, and also to remind ourselves of the sometimes surprising impact that tackling something so big has.
Magnificent desolation.
The first men on the moon, Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong, gather samples and plant the American flag as fellow crew member Michael Collins circles above what he calls...
It was a magnificent sphere, magnificent.
Alone in the capsule he's dubbed the loneliest man in the universe.
I loved it. I loved it being by myself. I even had hot coffee and music if I wanted it. And I was behind the moon for maybe 40 minutes, so I didn't have mission control yakking in my ear.
And it gives him a chance to look back toward home.
I had the world in my window.
A view that brings with it, Collins says, a responsibility that lingers 50 years later.
I may see the world in my window a little differently than you see the world in yours, but together we got to keep looking at that world in the window, especially the fragility aspects of it, and do something about it.
Preservation that could be the next giant leap for mankind.
You know, he really stressed that his lasting memory from that flight was the image of Earth through the capsule window. What a great opportunity and privilege to talk to Mr. Collins and learn from his unique perspective. Jay Gray, NBC News, Washington.